podcast for everyone. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk.
And a happy Shawk Talk Tuesday, everybody out there. Unless you are, of course, in Australia, then get wrecked. Shout out to Aussie Mike, who is Australian, and unfortunately for him, it's Wednesday. But welcome in, everybody. Happy Shawk Talk Tuesday. We have got Helm, one of our mods and one of our longtime friends from streaming Swugga, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, on the podcast this evening. We'll get more into him in a moment here. For anybody that is new, Shawk Talk Podcast is a podcast for everyone, as the opening song says. We talk about 5 general topics. We talk about gaming, music, sports, cinema, and then food/drinks as well. And the details of each of those 5 topics varies from week to week depending on the guests that we have. Speaking of the guests that we have here, folks, we've got Helm in the house. Helm, feel free to let the audience know a little bit about you, what you like, what you do, and just maybe your zodiac sign if you feel so inclined to zodiac signs. I don't know, anything like that.
I am Helm. I am a Leo. Okay,
there we go.
All right. About myself, right? Let's see. I love Star Wars.
Nice.
I do stream. Not as much as I would like, all right, but being active duty Navy kind of gets in the way at times, but it is what it is. Like long walks on the beach, and yeah.
I love it, man. Love it. All right, guys, so we have got 5 absolutely amazing topics here this evening. We're going to be getting into some NBA action here today. This is actually the first time, I believe, in any of the Shawk Talk episodes that we've talked about the NBA. So this is going to be a little fun to get into that if you guys are NBA fans, among many other things. With that being said, let's get things started here, guys. Our first topic is
the Spread on Sports.
So, like I said, we're going to be talking a little bit about the NBA here. Our statement, we'll call it, is Wemby. I have no idea, to be clear, how to say his actual name, so I'm not going to say his actual name.
I think it's Wembanyama.
I think you're right on that. Victor
I'm sure someone will correct.
Wembanyama. See, the problem is I might know what it sounds like, but I can't say it. Victor Wembanyama. I just want to say Nom Nom. Victor Yamanam.
Okay, all right. Getting canceled already. Not even 15 minutes in.
Right? So Wemby, that's the name I'm going to use, guys. Wemby is the next generational talent in the NBA. So that's our statement. We're going to talk about whether we believe that or not, and kind of what we dictate as being generational talent as well. So, for instance, for me in my era, so I'm technically a millennial, but I really identify more as a Gen X person. My generational talent is none other than Michael Jordan. Like, he's who I grew up watching. I freaking loved him. Still love him. I still think he's the absolute GOAT in basketball, without a doubt. He was clearly the generational talent of his generation. After him, you could maybe argue Kobe Bryant, even though there's some overlap there. And then I think clearly after him, you would probably say LeBron James is the generational talent. Now, LeBron James is getting pretty old. Would you agree with me on that, Helm?
Oh, absolutely. What is he, like 40? No, not 40. Like mid 30s. He's playing with the Sun, so he's old.
I don't think you're far off, though. I want to say he is 40. I could be wrong.
Might be 42.
Could be wrong. Let me know, chat. Let me know if any of you know that offhand.
No, he's 41.
But he's 41, you said?
Yeah, 4-1.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so there you go. So he's definitely at the tail end of his, tenure, we'll say. So the question then is, who is the next generational talent? And Wemby, in my opinion, is somebody that is just dominating the NBA by himself. I don't know of anybody else on his team. I don't know that he needs anybody else on his team. Like, He just changes the game so significantly because of his abilities and his athleticism for his size. And I think that we're going to see a significant run from him, if not multiple NBA titles as well. What do you think, Helm? Do you think, first of all, do you agree that it was Jordan, Kobe, LeBron were kind of the generational talents? And do you think Wemby is the next one?
So I will mostly agree with you. Right. Let me be clear. All right. I am not a major basketball fan. All right. So whoever's watching this, and there, there goes all the basketball fans. Anyway, I think it goes Jordan, LeBron, Wemby. I know Kobe was a great, incredible player. I just don't think he was just in a way overshadowed by Jordan. He was a little bit, and then overshadowed by LeBron James. So
wow.
Had neither of them played, absolutely right, you could say that, but I feel like he was kind of stuck in their shadows, right? And in the sense that he was not the face of basketball.
Interesting. Yeah, that's crazy. That's kind of
hot take.
That's a hot take. Yeah, that you heard it here, guys. Helm says that Kobe Bryant was not a generational talent.
I'll say he. All right. So like he is a generational talent, right? But he's never that. What I mean, and what I think where you're going with this is he that number one player? And I think he was always in the shadow of someone else. Okay, so he's like number two.
Okay, I see what you're saying. He was number 2 to Jordan, and then he was number 2 to LeBron. Okay.
So
even though he won 2 championships, like in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Wow. How many does LeBron have?
I think he has 4. I know he has a losing record, which is why a lot of people throw the Jordan is way better than LeBron.
He's undefeated in the finals.
I think it's 4. It's like 4 and 6.
Really? Wow, I didn't think he had that many. I thought it was like 2. Interesting. Again, let us know, chat, on that one. What his number of titles is.
4 and 6.
Really? He has 4 titles. Holy cow! I did not think he had that many.
Yeah,
that's nuts. So, interesting. All right. So, but you do agree that Wemby is a generational talent, though?
Yes. In my limited NBA, I would definitely say he is, the next, the next, like, that generational player, that next
future of the NBA.
In maybe like 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you're gonna see Wemby. I'll pause on the how many championships I think he has.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be in this conversation now of rather than is it LeBron or is it Jordan? And now we're gonna have, is it LeBron, is it Jordan, or is it Wemby? Right? If they were all able to play at the same time in their prime, which one is that all-time player? So I think we're just gonna keep going down that road.
Interesting. So I don't know. So that's a whole nother question. I don't know if I would say, even in my opinion, that Wemby is in the same discussion as LeBron and Jordan, or even Kobe for that matter. To me, Wemby is a Tim Duncan, which is no small feat. Like, Tim Duncan won a ton of titles as well with the San Antonio Spurs during their heyday. Like, phenomenal team. But the difference was, in my opinion, with that player in that team, is that Tim Duncan was a key component to a phenomenal team. He was not necessarily a dominant player that could take over an entire game. And I think so, versus the opposite of LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan. Those three could take over a game. Like, so they, to me, are generational talents because of the fact that they could take over a game and dominate an entire game by themselves. Tim Duncan could not. And I would argue the same thing with Shaq. So, like, Baby Yoda, by the way, Baby Yoda in chat said Kobe had 5 titles. And Ray Rock brings up a good point that Kobe won 2 of them with Shaq. Sorry, that he was number 2 to Shaq. I would argue that he was not number 2 to Shaq. Shaq was probably more dominant during those teams, but I think Kobe was the more generational talent player. I think Shaq was limited to what the team around him could do, similar to Tim Duncan. If you didn't have those components around you, he couldn't dominate a game. At least in my opinion. Do you see, Desam? It sounds like you're not with me on this. Do you see Wemby as being more like a Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, like a dominant player, but not necessarily able to dominate games by himself? Or do you see him like literally like Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron that could just take over a game?
So based off what I see, I don't think he is, that like you could put LeBron on a team full of off the bench guys and he's going to make every game competitive.
Right.
I don't think he is in that sense that versatile, that good.
Mm-hmm.
I was seeing a little breakdown that like inside like 5 feet or whatever from the net, he is number 1 in shooting and points, but overall, otherwise, I don't think he is. He is more that Tim Duncan, if that makes sense.
A dominant player, but not necessarily. Again, what I would call a generational player. Like in my mind, that's kind of what separates the two. Like a dominant player can take over a game, but is not necessarily someone that can win every game for you by themselves, like a generational player can. You agree with me on that?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I kind of get where you're going with that definition. Yeah, and I would agree with you in that sense.
Yeah, at least that's the way that I kind of see it. So with that being said, so that's a very good point. SVR says in chat, it's harder for a power forward / center to be in that conversation because they don't move the ball. They don't dribble the ball down the court and all that jazz and dictate plays as much. But I will say this to SVR's point. So he's raising a good point with that. Wemby, unlike Shaq, and I would argue unlike Tim Duncan was a very good passer, but Tim Duncan couldn't dribble the ball that well. Shaq could not dribble the ball at all. Wemby is able to move the ball down the court. Like he does have a lot of ball skills outside of just his sheer size and length. So, and again, that's a typical of a European player. European players tend to have a lot of ball skills. So it's one of those things. I think right now, from what I have seen of him, I don't see him dominating a game like the Jordans, like the LeBrons, like the Kobes. But is it something that could develop in his repertoire? Maybe. Like, I think he does have the ball skills to develop that and do that. SVR coming up with a 30 stream streak saying that I have a lot of ball skills as well. Thank you, sir. Desam, do you think he can develop that part of his game, or do you think that's something that you either have or you don't have?
I think it's something that you can definitely develop and you can adapt to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether it's any sport, major sport in general, right? Though, if you look at the all-time greats, right, the people who played long times, they're able to adapt and do things to make sure that they, I don't want to say stay relevant, but more so stay competitive.
Gotcha.
So being able to, baseball, right, change your swing a bit, right? Maybe you're not hitting for power anymore, right? Mm-hmm. But you could still maybe hit for average. Something like that for basketball, right? Maybe you're not able to get all those steals, but you're still able to use your size, go get those rebounds type things.
Nice. I like it. So that kind of, I think, leads us to our question. So we both agree he's a dominant player at minimum, could develop into a generational player. The question for our over-under, so we like to do over-unders for this since it's a spread on sports, guys. Sometimes we do money lines. It depends. But we're going to do an over-under today. In his career, so over the course of his entire career, do you think, Helm, he will have over or under 2.5 titles?
Can you explain to me how someone gets half a title?
No, I cannot.
I'm sorry. I couldn't. I had to.
It's understandable.
It's
an inside joke if anybody's not aware.
Yeah, just find a stream of Ram. You'll see what we're talking about. Anyway, so 2.5 titles. I'm gonna say he's gonna get 2. However, I think he's gonna get a lot more of the solo type achievements, right? Most valuable player. I can't name all the other ones, right? But I know there's an MVP in basketball. I think he's going to lead a lot in that, and he's going to be more of that. He's not doing it for him. He's just that good that he gets it. Type awards, and I think he's going to get probably like 6 or 7. No, I'm not making the hand gesture this time. When it comes to those types of awards.
Interesting. So the only thing I would argue against that is NBA in general, unlike some of the other, so the NFL is very different than this. NFL tends to do a lot of their awards pre-Super Bowl. The NBA doesn't do a lot of their awards until after the finals are over. And it's very rare for a non-winning team to have a player get like the MVP award. It's almost always
interesting.
The winning team, in from what I've observed. And again, I have not really watched a ton of basketball of late. I watched the Celtics run that they had not too long ago. But I think just in generally speaking, that tends to be something that's true. So I could see him get like scoring titles. Scoring titles are things that you can get. His blocks, he's going to definitely dominate the block category without a doubt. But so here's the thing with me. I think he can get more than 2.5. I really do. But I think for him, the issue is going to be, can they build a team around him? So, again, like I mentioned with Shaq and with Tim Duncan, and Baby Yoda brings up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being another good example of that. You know, like, and so these guys won a lot of titles. Like, they're not going to go without titles. But I think the question just becomes, can they build that team around him to maximize his abilities? And if they do, I think you're easily going to see more than 2.5. I wouldn't be shocked if he's able to get 4 to 6 titles because he's just that dominant of a player. But I don't think he's necessarily the generational talent. I don't know. I guess if I'm going with the over under, I have to choose that, right? Like I'm gonna go with the over. I'm gonna say over 2.5 titles. So I have to say he's the next generational talent. I feel like I have to.
So let me ask you this then, right? Because since you're on the fence of is he the next generational talent?
Yeah.
Can you name me a player around his age that is better than him?
Oh, around his age, no. I think if you ask me in the NBA right now, other than LeBron, I don't think there is anybody that's as good as him right now.
So my argument would be, right, and unless I'm wrong and he's like 30 or something, but he is the next generational top player.
Yeah. All right, well, you make me feel better about that decision then. There it is, guys. I'm officially team generational talent, and he's going to get over 2.5 titles. You're saying generational talent, but under 2.5 titles.
Yes, he's going to get a lot more of those just personal accolades.
Gotcha. I don't know why my camera just went crazy there. Sorry, guys. But
it's because Fritz is licking the couch.
It could be. It could very well be. Let us know in the comments, folks. Do you think Wemby is the next generational talent? And do you think he's going to get over or under 2.5 titles? By the way, before we move to our next topic, just a heads up, everybody. I've been mentioning the chat a good bit here tonight. We do stream live on Twitch. Those of you that are watching this over on YouTube or Spotify or whatever platform you are on, if you guys want to participate in the live recording and the live chat as we are doing this, feel free to head over to Twitch, Shaka08, and join the discussion. All right, next up, we've got
Galaxy of Gaming.
So this is a statement. So we kind of had a statement in the first one, and then we do the over-under with a statement. This one, we're going to rate this statement as either reasonable or ridiculous. And today's statement is fairly general in terms of gameplay, but it leads to some really good discussion, in my opinion, in terms of different games. Our statement for today is simple gameplay is better than complex gameplay. Reasonable or ridiculous? So, Helm, when I think of simple gameplay, I'll start there first. For me, like one of the first and most obvious examples to me is Tetris. Super, super simple game to play. Super addicting. Like one of the all-time great games in my opinion, and it's very, very simple to play. What do you think of when you think of simple gameplay?
So for me, being a bit younger, not growing up with essentially the first set of PlayStation, the first set of Xbox games. When I think of simple, I think of basic first-person shooters, some RPGs, right? Fallout, games like that. I kind of consider simple because with the RPGs, yeah, maybe there's like a little bit of stuff, but like essentially, do you want to make a punching class? Do you want to make a explosive class type thing? It's relatively not complex when it comes to
The actual
the game
gameplay.
itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, interesting, because I never would have thought of those games as being simple. Just because
I'm thinking from a mechanics.
Yes. So from a mechanic standpoint, I get that. I tend to think of the strategy aspect of things as being complex, but I guess you could look at Tetris's strategy side of things as being complex as well, too, to some degree, if you wanted to. First-person shooters, though, you think first-person shooters are simple?
Compared to what I have in mind for complex, yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what you have in mind
Yes.
for complex gameplay, because
Yes.
like I think of like Call of Duty and Destiny. Well, I guess that's a third-person shooter technically. But yeah, Wolfenstein, Doom, all of like I think those are really complex games. Like I'm terrible at them. Like I'm just old. I'm an old person. I can't handle fast gameplay. Like to me, that's really difficult. What do you? I'll let you go first. What do you consider to be complex gameplay then?
So what I kind of is, if anybody has played any of the CRPG games, so computer RPG games, some examples of that is like any of the Pathfinder, Kingdom Maker, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, Warhammer 40K, Rogue Trader, games where it's like D&D, right? Where you really go into the class, where you really consider the actions and they kind of carry over. Because like I'll be honest, right? I'm playing Pathfinder Kingdom Maker with a buddy of mine, and I love the story, but there's a lot of things that like you got to make sure you run your buffs. You got to make sure because they're time based. You got to make sure like your inventory management, weight, and all that. Like there's a lot of things going on that you can't just like, as opposed to Call of Duty. Okay, pick up gun, shoot gun, move through level, right? I mean, realistically, like because I'm thinking from mechanics standpoints.
Yeah.
Right. That's simple. Yeah, let's be clear. There's a bit of strategy and stuff like that, but you're not factoring in, hey, the person that I'm fighting, right? I'm a mage and I only cast fire spells. Well, the person I'm fighting is immune to fire, so how do you expect to beat this boss? So that's why I kind of complex, right? You got a party management, resource management, things like that make it a little bit more intricate.
Interesting. So strategy plays a little bit of a role in what you're considering to be gameplay, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, interesting. Okay. I don't necessarily disagree with that. So when I think of gameplay though, I think mostly like how fast are my fingers moving? Like that's kind of the simple way to sum it up. If my fingers have to move really fast and a lot of them have to move, it's really complex gameplay. The only exception to that in my mind would be like timing based things. So, like, I think about, God of War or Jedi Survivor, where, like, the whole parry system and things like that are based on timing and execution. like those, even though they may not be super finger button mashing type things all the time, they do require some skill to be able to execute them properly, especially if you're playing at a high level of difficulty. So I would consider those to be complex gameplay. In addition to things like Call of Duty and stuff like that, because I think that's still pretty complicated. I understand what you're saying. It's because you can button mash. You can just run around and button mash and still play that game. But I guess the difference is just I'm old. Like I think of like Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Brothers, where I just have to move forward and backward and jump, and that's all I have to do. Like that's what I consider to be simple gameplay. Atari, Pac-Man, like things like that. Super simple games. That I tend to lean. I won't say lean more towards, but that's what I lean towards in terms of simple gameplay, I guess is what I'll say. So between these two categories, do you have one you prefer over the other?
Honestly, it depends on the mood.
Okay.
Right? If I'm just trying to relax and unwind, my definition of simple gaming, right? I'll play like a horde killing game where you're overpowered and you're just trying to kill everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play that on the weekends with friends, have a couple drinks as we're all, enjoying ourselves. But then again, I greatly value story. Like my number one thing when it comes to games is story. And the trend I've noticed is the more complex games tend to focus on story because that's, please do not restart computer. Okay. All right, cool. We're good.
Okay, good.
But in games where the story is a main selling point, Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
To me, that's like a complex game, right? You're doing party management, things like that, and arguably, unless you're anti-Final Fantasy, I think majority of people would put Final Fantasy in their top 10 greatest games all time, if not top 20 for sure.
I can see why you would argue that that's complex gameplay because of the strategy dynamic of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I guess our definitions of gameplay are very different here. Like gameplay to me is, like I said, the physical aspect of manipulating the controller or keyboard. So like Valheim, I would consider a complex game because of all of the stuff I have to manage on the keyboard and the mouse and all that stuff. Same thing with Windrose that we're playing currently. Like those I would consider to be complex gameplay games versus like I don't want to say role play. I don't know. What do you call a game like Final Fantasy or
no, that'd be a JRPG, Japanese role-playing game.
Thank you. So it is an RPG. Okay.
Yes.
So I would not consider the gameplay of those to be complex. Strategy, yes. Gameplay, no. At least for me. That's kind of the way I define this and the way that I'm approaching this question, or this statement, I guess I should say. So I think that has a bit of an impact in it for me. Interesting. Our takes are very, very different on this. There's some very wide variance in what we consider to be gameplay. I did not expect that big of a difference on that. Interesting.
Okay. I do got a question for you on that.
Yeah.
What do you consider SWOGA?
SWOGA is not complex.
Okay.
I would say that's simple gameplay. Again, strategy is complex in that game. Not
mechanically.
Mechanically it's super simple. You push a button. That's it. That's all you have to do. Yeah. But the strategy is very complicated. Yes, exactly. The chat is just roasting me right now, basically, for anyone that is not currently watching this live as we recorded. Windrose is not complex. No need to read kits. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. With that being said, Helm, the statement itself, simple gameplay is better than complex gameplay. Reasonable or ridiculous?
I think it's reasonable for most, but for me personally, I'm gonna go with my complex gameplay. It's what I intend to enjoy more.
Interesting.
I know I'm the minority in this conversation.
So even though it's more accessible to most people because it's simple, and it's, generally speaking, I would say more fun because it's accessible to more people, you still think that it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I'm quite aware that I am the minority for that.
Well, guess what? You're not alone, guys, because it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Simple gameplay is fun. It is not better. I want a challenge when I play a game, which is why I play very simple games, because they're challenging for me. But if it's complex, if it requires skill, it's just more fulfilling. Therefore, it is a better game, in my opinion. Anybody that knows me knows that God of War is one of my all-time favorite games, and I consider that to be complex gameplay. That should have told you the answer right off the bat, guys. This is simply ridiculous. End of discussion. Let me know in comments why Helm and I are right. And if we're not right in your opinion, go play Swaga. All right, next up.
Musical news 8.
All right, now this topic, I think this will be a little bit more nuanced. I don't want to say controversial, but nuanced, I think, is the better way to say this. So we're going to be talking about lyrics today, guys. We've had many a debate over what is more important in music, the actual instrumentation versus the lyrics. We've talked about how lyrics can impact music, et cetera, et cetera. We've never really talked about the approach to writing lyrics and their effect. And so I thought this would be an interesting one to talk about here today. So the question is, what is the better approach to writing lyrics? Telling a story through your lyrics or expressing emotions through your lyrics? So to be clear, you can kind of do both. Like, I'm not saying you can't do both. You can definitely kind of do both with these. But when I think of like expressing emotions, I think more about like your traditional, I'm going to make so many people mad right now. I think about your traditional like Taylor Swift songs where, yes, she might be telling you about how she broke up with her boyfriend, but realistically, it's more about her expressing her emotions of how she feels going through that process. It's not so much about actually telling a story. It's about her expressing what she's going through. Versus, so Helm, the reason I chose this for you specifically is versus a group like Sabaton. Sabaton is very notorious for telling stories through their music. Helm, I'll kind of hand this off to you. Do you want to tell the people a little bit about Sabaton and what they do?
Yeah. So Sabaton is a Swedish band, metal band. What kind of metal category? I'm not quite sure. But essentially, they do songs based off historical battles. So they actually just launched a song about the Yamato, the Japanese battleship, one of the world's largest the world's largest battleship. Couple weeks ago, they've done albums about World War One, World War Two, historical. Just if you can think of a time period where military were fighting each other, they've probably written a song about it. Japanese, Chinese. One of my favorite songs is written about Napoleon by them. And like you listen to it, right? It paints a picture of what they're trying to tell you about and who they're trying to tell you about through words.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, great way of laying that out for us there. That's appreciate it. So they're an example of, yes, emotions are in their music because they're telling moving stories, but the stories that they're telling are much more in-depth and detailed and complex compared to that of, Taylor Swift breaking up with her boyfriend. So that's kind of where we're going at with this. Yes, I understand everyone out there, like chat already swarmed me with, you could do both. There could be both. There could be both. I understand it can do both. I understand both approaches can achieve both of those things. But one method is definitely more storytelling driven. The other one is definitely more expressing your emotions driven. That's what we're talking about. The ones that are heavily favored in either one of those directions. So, Deshelm, since you are a Sabaton fan, I'm assuming, and I'm intrigued to see if I'm right on this or if I'm wrong on this, I'm assuming you tend to gravitate more towards groups that tell a story through their music. Yay or no?
Yes, 100%. Okay. I'm actually going to be honest with you. I actually kind of misunderstood the question until you started breaking it down. I thought your question was asking, what is a better way to convey a story, right? Is it like hearing the emotion that the pain is in their voice, or through the lyrics themselves? That's where I was like, oh, this is actually really interesting. It was making me think.
I'm not mad about that either.
Yeah, feel free to take that for a future podcast.
We can talk about it now.
Yeah.
All right. That's a great take on that.
Yeah. So now, if we're doing it that way, right, is expressing emotions, like you can hear the pain in somebody's voice, as opposed to the lyrics of them, or telling a story, I would say expressing emotions. I'm a big 3 Days Grace fan. Things along those lines, Five Finger Death Punch, Avenged Sevenfold, things like that, and right, where you can like kind of hear the pain and actually kind of like resonate. Like, to me, there are certain songs that I'll listen to and like you can relate it to an experience you had, right? And its goal is to get an emotional, provoking feeling.
Yes.
As opposed to, the lyrics, right? Which they do tell a story, but it's more like, all right, like, hey, it's gonna like kind of like make you think about it a little bit, as opposed to like, no, you're actually there. Maybe you're thinking back to a bad breakup with an ex, or you're thinking about somebody who is unfortunately has passed on type feeling.
Right.
So
that's a really interesting point, and I think it does apply to this conversation without a doubt. I know for me, so I've said in the past that I definitely am not as focused on lyrics as a lot of people are. I'm very focused on instrumentation. And to be clear, I don't mean that I don't listen to voice when I say that. But when I listen to voice, I don't listen to necessarily the words that are coming out of their mouth as much as I am the timbre and the inflection and the style of singing that they're using, more so than the lyrics. That to me has a huge impact on the weight of the song and how much that emotional aspect of the music hits me. But you raise a really good point. So like, I think of like, okay, so like Sabaton is an example. I use them as a good example because they're, I think, a very story driven group. Like, they're very clearly more on that side of things where they're telling a story that happened. They're very emotional in their expression of the music. But they tend to be, power rock approach, power metal rock. Oh my God, that was hard to say, in their approach. And so you don't necessarily see a lot of raw emotional connection to their music versus you raised a good thing there with Five Finger Death Punch, a reaction that I just did with them recently. Very raw emotions in their voice quality and the way that they sounded. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember a single word from that song.
What song was it?
Oh boy,
I'll find it.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's on the music channel.
Yeah, it's on the reaction channel. Yeah, but that just shows you how not invested in lyrics I am, but rather that emotional response in the way that they sing and in the way that they create the music. Like, for me, I almost feel like that's an easier question to answer. I think without a doubt, the emotional expression of your performance is what I'll say, whether it's instrumental or vocal, is far more important than the actual words are that you're using. Like, you could, hell, I'll use an example from Lion King. Like, one of the most emotionally moving scenes I've ever seen from The Lion King was the stampede scene. I have no idea what the lyrics are in that song, if there even are any lyrics. Like, without a doubt, in my mind, expressing emotions through your performance is far more important than the words themselves. But that's kind of why I didn't approach it that way, because I feel like that's an easy answer. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Go ahead. I can tell you were going to say something.
No, I was saying, okay, so if it's the song I think it is, which is
I've only done one at this point.
okay, it's why did I just close it? It's Wrong Side of Heaven, which
Yes, thank you.
As somebody who is active duty, watching that video, it's definitely up there in the provoking an emotional response. Where Five Finger Death Punch, right? They do tell a story through lyrics for that one. Like, yeah, you can hear the like an expression in Ivan, who's Ivan Moody, who's the singer. But for like example, that song you're listening, right? Because it's Wrong Side of Heaven, the Righteous Side of Hell.
Right.
That you're, you know, like that song is essentially saying like, yeah, I've done a lot of, you know, like I'm not a great person, but I'm a bad person. Like, if you're a good person and you do bad things, does that make you a bad person? If you're a bad person and you do a good thing, does that make you a good person? You know, that's kind of what some of that song was kind of telling you about.
Interesting. Yeah. By the way, the chat mentioned Hakuna Matata. Fun fact. So we talked about it in a previous podcast where we said it's just gibberish words. It actually, to correct my statement on that, it is not gibberish words. I was made aware very quickly after we posted that short, both by the general public as well as my sister, who is a choral teacher, that it is not gibberish. It actually comes from a Zulu phrase that was misheard and then used as gibberish. But it is actually a legitimate phrase from the Zulu language. I do not know what it means off the top of my head. I don't have that from my sister. But there were people that commented and told us what it actually meant legitimately. I believe the song, it comes from a song called Mbube. If I'm saying that correctly, I hope. But anyway, fun fact for anybody that's in the chat live currently and talking about that. And just correcting us from previous episodes with that. So I think, Deson, we're pretty on the same page that expressing emotions through your performance is definitely more important than the lyrics themselves. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
If we're gonna, I'll answer the question in two ways. If we're saying that, because it's different. So
yes.
If we're going off expressing emotions, where I'm talking about like you can feel the pain and you can hear the emotion rather than the lyrics, then yes, I agree expressing emotions. However, if we're talking about in the manner that you kind of described it, right? Taylor Swift expressing her emotions through a song as opposed to the lyrics, then for that, I say the lyrics tell the story better.
Gotcha. So to the idea that I had taken this, which approach is better, to tell a song through telling a story, or expressing emotions that you are feeling? So like, there's an example I'll use here. So Sabaton is telling a story, okay?
Yes.
In their music, versus I think of Les Mis and I Dreamed a Dream as being a song that is purely expressing emotions. So like a song where they are literally just telling you how they feel and what they're going through. Those two approaches, which one do you think is better?
Telling a story through lyrics. So
Interesting.
yes.
Interesting. I don't agree. So like, maybe this is because of the musical theater background with me. So like, I think of musical theater and I think of a song like I Dreamed a Dream versus Master of the House, which is a comedic song. Now, granted, I'm using two very different genres here with this, but that's a song that's just telling you things. It's telling you about the plot, of what's happening in the musical. To me, those songs don't hit as hard as when you're actually talking about your emotional feelings and connection and what you're going through. So I feel like I'm confirming what Lost Womprat said in chat here. Does that mean that I think that songs from Taylor Swift are more lyrically better than songs from Sabaton? I can't believe I'm about to say this, but yes.
Do you maybe have a Phantom of the Opera song you can compare? I have not seen Les Mis, so maybe
Phantom of the Opera?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of a song that expresses just purely emotions and how somebody's feeling. I don't know if I can think of one off the top of my head with that. A lot of that is story driven.
Yeah.
Singing. I mean, I guess you could say like Angel of the Night is a little bit like that, but he's still talking to her about about what he is and who he is and all that jazz. He's expressing his feelings about her and towards her, but so yeah. I don't know.
What about what is it? Why can't it's the movie just came out for it, part 2, Wicked. Is there a Wicked song maybe you can kind of use as an analogy? Maybe kind of convince me?
Well, so to some degree, like Defying Gravity is more of an emotional expression. I mean, she's obviously advancing the story through what she's saying, but it's very much she's expressing what she's feeling and going through, and she's done putting up with it. Versus a song like Popular. Popular does not express emotions whatsoever. It is just telling you an aspect of the story. Very funny, very great song, a fun song. But those approaches lyrically are vastly different. The other way I'll show it too is like, so story driven lyrics tend to be very specific versus emotion driven lyrics tend to be much more vague and general. Like, so you might say like, instead of like, I'm scaling a mountain, you might say, I'm overcoming an obstacle. So it's just, it's much more general and can apply to many more situations than when you're telling a very direct story. It tends to be very specific to that story, and it doesn't necessarily apply to as much of an audience. That's why, in my opinion, a lot of pop music, like Taylor Swift, tends to be more about expressing emotions because it appeals to a broader audience of listeners than something that's very story driven, like a musical or Sabaton, something like that. So anyway,
so Shaka is a Swiftie confirmed.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I don't dislike her music. I've never been to a concert or anything, but I don't dislike it. All right. So I'm taking expressing emotions. You're taking telling a story. Yes?
Yes.
Got it. All right, guys. Let us know in the comments. First of all, do you think that vocal expression is more important than the lyrics, like we kind of talked about as a side tangent? And 2, what do you think is the better approach to writing lyrics, telling the story or expressing your emotions that you're going through and feeling in the moment? Be interested to hear what you guys have to say on that. All right, next up, guys, we're going to get into some cinema action here. We've got
Scintillating Cinema.
Okay, so this is going to be a fun one. We're going to try to do a non-spoiler version of this because I myself have not seen it, so I don't want spoilers either. Helm has seen this, so he's going to give us a little bit of inside feelings, we'll say, about this. Our statement today is Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie that just dropped this past weekend, will it be bigger than Avengers Doomsday? So we do a thumbs up, thumbs down rating for this. 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb down, 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down, 2 thumbs down for the statement. Helm, you can also, since you've seen the movie, feel free to give us a rating for The Mandalorian and Grogu as well. Eventually, you don't have to do it right away. But first of all, let's talk about Doomsday first, because that's what neither of us have seen. Nobody has seen at this point. Are you excited for Doomsday?
Hey, no. I'm gonna be honest. I after Endgame, actually, when I watched Endgame, like was in a way was disappointed, right? The hype was gone. The generation was gone.
Yeah.
There was a storm coming, right? Or the change you could see. And then after that, right, I have not watched, I think I can count on one hand how many of the Marvel movies I've seen. I've seen Multiverse of Madness, No Way Home, Guardians 3, and the Black Widow one. Oh, and the Turtles, so I lied. But that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Like,
still a decent number.
yeah, but I didn't watch the Ant-Man or anything like them setting up. I have no idea like how they're doing it. They essentially, right, they had to essentially retcon part of the universe, right, because of all the Kang issues, like, but we're not going to go down that. But like when you essentially hype up person A to be the big new bad guy, but then have to switch to person B, and you have to redo an entire movie to make person B like, no, this is the reason why. Like, they were actually Doctor Doom the entire time type thing. Kind of kills the hype. Maybe I might watch like a YouTube video that like, hey, here's what you need to know before you walk into and go see it type thing.
I get that.
Like, I am not super hyped for Doomsday personally.
Interesting. So I am excited for Doomsday, but I don't disagree with a lot of what you said. Like, for when Infinity War and Endgame came out, I was watching every bit of Marvel's content that I could, or Marvel content, I should say, that I could. I wanted to know everything, all the details, all the backstories, all the Easter eggs. I want to know it all. Now, no. I want to see Doomsday because I hope that they can right the ship. That's why I want to see it. Not because I think it's necessarily going to be amazing. Like, my expectations are low, if that makes sense. And I'm not going to, like you said, put in all of the work to know all of the details about everything before I go see it. Like, it's just not worth my time investment, in my opinion, when they've kind of burned us so hard on a lot of stuff. So I'm very much with you on that in terms of Doomsday. I do look forward to seeing it, but not like Infinity War or Endgame level. With that being said, so you did see Mandalorian and Grogu. Were you excited to see it, and was the payoff worth it?
So the reason why I actually saw it was essentially a buddy of mine was here for work. I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to hang out with me every weekend, and he's like, I'm extremely introverted, long story short, right? I'm a hermit, essentially. Yeah. He's like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, I like Star Wars and the movie's coming out. So he's like, all right, let's go see it. I'm like, okay. So that's how I ended up seeing it, right? Like, if he didn't visit, I probably wasn't going to go see it. Even though, right, I do love Star Wars. And I'm sure some of the chat members are having some flashbacks to a tier ranking video a few years ago. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, because we're all about the inside jokes here on Shaka.
Indeed.
Podcast. But so yeah, I wasn't like super excited. I wasn't counting down the days type thing.
Did you enjoy it? Like, was the pay? Well, I guess I said the payoff, because you didn't really invest that much into seeing it. But
yeah.
Was it good? Like, did you feel fulfilled seeing it?
Yes, I would definitely say I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it about 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10.
Interesting. Okay.
I will say it felt 30 minutes too long. The first act was incredible, right? The first quarter was incredible.
Okay.
Second quarter was good. And I was like, okay, cool. The third quarter I'm like, all right, like, this is getting a little bit predictable. I'm like, all right, let's get going, right? We're taking a little too long with the building here for the finale. I'll
Gotcha.
leave it at that, right? Spoilers free.
Gotcha.
And then the end was good. There was a character, there was a, you know, from some massive part of Star Wars that I was like, I know who this guy is. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I know this person. That's cool that they tied him in. And I will leave it at that, and I was excited for that.
That's good.
Very
cool.
so
Very cool. I've heard similar things to what you're saying. Like it's a fun movie. It's not a bad movie, but it's not an amazing movie either necessarily. Yes. 6.5, 7. That seems reasonable for that range. I was hoping it would be a little more 7 to 7.5 range, but I'm not mad about a 6.5 movie. I'll watch a 6.5 movie without a doubt.
So my major, I'm sorry.
Just out of curiosity with the movie itself. So if we're rating just the movie, 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down, 2 thumbs down.
1 thumb up.
That's what I was going to guess. I figured a 6.5 is around that range. Okay, cool. Now, the statement itself. Mandalorian and Grogu will be bigger than Doomsday. I'll go first on this one, okay? And then let you come back at it. So I think the Mandalorian and Grogu could be the better movie. There's a key distinction here, better or bigger. I think Mandalorian and Grogu could be the better movie. There's no way in my mind it's going to be the bigger movie. Like the Marvel fan base is just clamoring for a good movie again, and they're bringing back the OG characters. You know, they're bringing back all these OG characters, possibly in new types of roles, not just Robert Downey Jr., but also even Steve Rogers. They've said Steve Rogers, not Captain America, is back. Like there's a very high likelihood that they're going to be totally twisting these OG characters to be the opposites, to be villains. And I think that's a cool dynamic. And I'm excited to see that. And I think a lot of the Marvel fan base is excited to see that too. So I think because of that, and because of the fervor of wanting something good from Marvel again, I think the Marvel fan base is going to rally, and they're going to show up for this. Versus the Star Wars community, A, in my opinion, is smaller, first of all. But also, B, they're still burned. They're still hurt over a lot of the previous movies being so bad, to the point where I think that I think they'll trickle in to see Mandalorian and Grogu, but I think a lot of them are going to wait. I think a lot of them are not going to go to the theater to see this. I think they're going to wait till it comes out. They're going to watch it at home because they just don't want to get burned again. Like the pain is just too recent, in my opinion. So in my mind, Mandalorian and Grogu could be better, but not bigger. So because of that, I'm going 1 thumb down. I'm not going to say 2 thumbs down. I don't think it's going to be that drastically different. I don't think like Doomsday is going to have like 500 million and Mando and Grogu is going to have 50 mil. Like we already know Mando and Grogu as of recording, I think made 163 mil for opening weekend is what the number was I saw. So it's not like a bomb. I don't think they're making big money. I think they're just barely breaking even at the moment. But I'm going to go 1 thumb down for me. What are your thoughts, sir?
So let me make sure Mandalorian and Grogu will be bigger. I'm gonna be honest. I'll pretty much share the sentiment with you. Because I'm gonna point this out to the audience. The last Star Wars movie was 2019. All right, Rise of Skywalker. Like,
yes,
I remember watching that in Spain right before a certain beer decided to take over the entire world. Yes, I'm laughing at my own shitty joke.
A beer?
I
don't know. That's whatever in my head.
There's a certain beer. If you think about it,
that took over the
but
world?
Anyway, yes, a Corona.
Oh, I get you now. Okay.
Yes.
Now I follow you.
All right. So, I think, as you said, we're burned. Like,
yeah.
I was telling you earlier, right? When I was when you and I were talking about it a little bit before the stream of what I thought of Mandalorian, right? Um, the first 6 movies I love for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the last 3, so really, a lot of Star Wars fans, our last good movie was 20 years ago, give or take a little bit.
Oh, that's sobering when you put it that. Rogue One was not a bad movie. Rogue One was very good.
Rogue One was not bad. I'll give you that. I did forget about Rogue One.
Yeah, but outside of that, you're not wrong.
That moves it to like 10 years ago.
Yeah. I think it's been 10 years. Yeah, holy crap, that's a long time
So,
ago.
yeah, that was our last great Star Wars movie type. But anyway, Marvel is the bigger audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we had this conversation 20 years ago, though, I think we'd be talking a little bit differently about how Star Wars would blow away Marvel.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right now, definitely, I think Marvel, and what is it? Doomsday will probably make like 500 million, and Mandalorian and Grogu will probably make 250 million.
Yep.
So I will give 1 thumb down.
So same page as me. I like
Yes.
it. Your reasoning sounds very similar to mine as well, so it makes sense. Let us know in the comments, guys. Are you excited for either of these movies, first of all? And which one do you think is going to be the bigger movie? And if you want to tell us which ones you think is going to be the better movie, too, feel free. I'd be intrigued to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments or in live chat if you were here chiming in. All right, last but not least, guys, our final tier of the evening, probably what I consider to be the most fun and lighthearted version. We've got
Tiramisu tap room.
So in honor, I shouldn't say in honor, but in with the recent holiday that just happened yesterday, Memorial Day weekend, obviously the real meaning is, the honoring of fallen military members. So just want to say again, so Helm being a military member himself, just want to say again, shout out to all of the fallen members in the military for all of their sacrifices that they've made. Just really, really appreciate all of you that have served and given everything that you can. And even those of you, I know it's not the same holiday, but all of you that do currently serve as well and always risk that as being a possibility. I just want to say a salute to you guys and thank you so much for what you do. With that being said, another common occurrence during that holiday weekend is that people like to cook out. They like to have cookouts. And so I thought a fun topic for today would be picnic or cookout sides. Sides are always a fun topic of tier ranking here. So we're going to be tier ranking cookout sides. We have, for anybody that's not familiar with tier ranking, we have the S tier, which is your top tier, A tier, B tier, Canada, as we fondly call it, or C tier. Sorry to you Canadians out there. And D tier is the very bottom. So anybody that's familiar with tier rankings, that's pretty standard practice. What is different here is that we only allow 1 item per category. So we have 5 items in total. We have 5 tiers. You cannot put more than 1 item in a tier. So sometimes it forces you to either overrate or underrate things because of that. And it makes things interesting. So with that being said, Helm, you ready? You understand the mission here?
I do.
Okay.
I'm just doing my best to figure this out.
All right. Our 5 picnic / cookout sides are potato salad, coleslaw, baked beans, corn on the cob, and pasta salad. Now, to be clear, pasta salad is not the same as macaroni salad. Macaroni salad I would consider to be more like a potato salad, where it's more of like a mayo-based kind of thing. Pasta salad is an Italian dressing type thing. So just to be clear on that for everybody, those are 2 very, very different sides in particular. Helm, we'll go in order with this.
Okay.
Starting with potato salad. First question I have for you, do you prefer potato salad or macaroni salad?
I'd say potato.
Potato? I'm team potato as well. Do you prefer a mustard-based or non-mustard based?
I prefer either or.
Okay, you're open to either. Okay.
I'm I enjoy food. All right. I enjoy food. All right. I enjoy food.
I like it. I like it. I definitely, I
So.
do prefer a mustard-based potato salad personally, but I'll eat them all, to be honest with you. All right. With that being said, Helm, where are you putting potato salad and why?
Oof. Hmm. So I got it narrow down to, I would say, based on the options, I would put potato salad at A tier.
Okay.
All right. I love it. It's filling.
Mhm.
I will say I do think I prefer the mustard ones, right? I'm not
Okay.
like looking and kind of seeing like what is it, right? It's potato salad to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
But I mean, now that I think about it, I usually tend to enjoy the ones that that are clearly mustard, right? You see that yellow hue
Right.
around, on the side. Um, it just reminds me of some good barbecue times. So,
Yeah.
um, it's filling.
So I was really torn on this because I kind of wanted to put it in S tier, but I can't quite do that. I gotta bump it down a tier. I'm going A tier as well, similar to you. Uh, for many of the same reasons. A, it's very filling. B, it's cold. I love a good cold side dish when you're out in the heat. I know for us in PA, it was not a hot nor dry Memorial Day weekend. Unfortunately, it was very cold and wet. We actually, I got potato salad. We did not touch the potato salad because it just was not the right weather for it. But generally speaking, I like a good cold filling side to go with your hot items like a burger or a hot dog, that kind of thing. And like I mentioned earlier, I love the mustard variant where you got a little bit of that. What we would call it Amish potato salad here in PA. It's my absolute favorite. Yeah, crack all the Amish jokes all you want to, guys. But yeah, like for me, it's Amish potato salad all day, every day. But I got to go A tier because I have one other item that it hits hard. It hits harder than potato salad does. So I got to go A tier as well. We're pretty much on the surprisingly same page on that one. I guess I shouldn't say surprisingly. Who doesn't like potato salad? I mean, come on, right? Let us know in the comments down below, guys. Where are you putting potato salad, and why is it A tier or higher? And if not, why are you wrong? All right. Next up, we've got coleslaw. Do you do a mayo-based coleslaw, Deshelm, or do you do a more vinegar-based coleslaw?
I would say the places that I go to, and right, I get it, right. I don't make a coleslaw.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say mayo,
Yes.
right? Just that that fatty, that sweet flavor,
Yep.
right? Not anti vinegar, right? I do like salt and vinegar chips, for example.
Okay.
But just that sweetness, I guess, for a better or lack of a better word, right? You're eating it, that good little cold crunch,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of sweet.
The way I approach it is that a mayo-based coleslaw is a side, a vinegar-based coleslaw is a topping. So
Okay.
Permanis, obviously, for anybody that's not familiar, Permanis puts coleslaw on their sandwiches as a topping, but it's a vinegar-based slaw. Same thing if you ever gotten like a, they have it at Applebee's. It's like a chicken wonton taco, I think is what they call it. It's got a slaw topping. That is a vinegar-based topping. So for me, that's a key distinction. Vinegar coleslaw, not a side. It is a topping. Mayo-based coleslaw is a side. So I'm rating mayo-based coleslaw here. For me, this is kind of overrated. I'll eat coleslaw, but 9 times out of 10, I don't get it because it's just it's such a wild card as to whether it's actually going to be good or not. And 9 times out of 10, I think it's not good. Like it's just It's not bad. It's not something that's terrible, but it's just So I'm gonna put it in Canada because it's just okay. How about you, sir? Where are you putting coleslaw?
Put it in B.
Okay.
So not too far off, but it's just I like it. Right. I know we're kind of talking about like picnic size, right?
Hmm.
But for example, Raisin Cane's, I love their coleslaw.
Yeah.
I like everybody's like, no, I don't like. I like it. To get rid of it. I'm like, nah, give that to me. It's good. I mean, it's got that nice little sweet. If it's done right, if it's got that cold little crisp, it's just
Mhm.
very enjoyable, especially on a hot summer day.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so we're close on that one. I was borderline D tier, so I think you might be a little higher on that than I am, but we're at least close on our tier there. All right, baked beans. First question: do you warm your baked beans or do you eat them cold?
Oh, no, warm. That is nice, warm, hot uh type thing.
Okay.
Side.
Generally speaking, I do them warm as well. If I'm
Okay.
camping, I'll eat them cold, like bare bones camping, and I just don't want to bother cooking something. But if I'm cooking out, like at home or at a picnic or something like that, yes, I'm with you. Warm baked beans. Where are you putting baked beans at, sir, and why?
This is someone's gonna fight me on this. I'm putting baked beans at C tier.
Oh, I think we're gonna D tier. Okay,
No,
that's not too bad.
no. It's not bad. It's just the rules are just one per category,
Yeah.
and um, if I'm picking for a side, I'm gonna go for. Here's the way I decided, right? If I only had, I got my burger, I got my hot dog,
Mm-hmm.
I got my potato salad already, and
Yeah.
I got room for one more thing.
Yeah.
What am I reaching for? I'm going to reach for the coleslaw, right? As long as I know it's somebody, right? And I'm going to give the best version, right? So the best version of coleslaw is going to be better than the baked beans because 99% of the time, right? Somebody's going to use like Bush's baked beans, which there's nothing wrong with, right?
Yeah.
But I've never been to a barbecue or something like, hey, I've made the baked beans from scratch.
Oh,
So
I don't know of anybody that makes baked beans.
that's what I'm
from
saying,
scratch.
but that's what I'm saying, right? So you know what you're getting. I've
Yeah.
had some very incredible coleslaw. So, I'm going to use the best version I've had when I'm doing, when I'm reaching for this and to put it on my plate. So coleslaw is better than baked beans. in that
Interesting.
sense.
So when I approach it from that standpoint, I feel like your plate's kind of unbalanced because you've got two mayo-based sides there with coleslaw and potato salad.
We're at a barbecue. We're not worried about waistlines here, all right?
Well, no, not even like I'm not even talking calorie consumption. I'm talking just flavor variety. Like that's two mayo. It's like two very similar tasting dishes. Versus, I would rather have something with a little bit more variation to it. Like I would take baked beans over coleslaw, which is going to kind of give away my ranking here. I'm putting baked beans in the B tier. Baked beans B, baby. Let's go. I love the alliteration. I like baked beans, especially if we're getting into some of the specialty Bush's baked beans that you can get out there, like the steakhouse version, the southern barbecue version, like stuff like that. Some of their specialty ones are so freaking good. And it gives you more of a flavor profile balance, in my opinion. Like versus if you've got coleslaw as your second side topping. I'm even calling it a topping. I shouldn't be calling it a topping. Your second side. Like to me, coleslaw out the window. If I got to choose between coleslaw and baked beans, I'm taking baked beans all day, every day, without a doubt. Baby Yoda. You're not wrong. Let us know in the comments, folks. Are you in agreement with me, or are you in disagreement and you side with Helm? Baked beans are overrated. I will say this, Helm, my taste changed as I got older. When I was a kid, I would have taken coleslaw every day of the week over baked beans. But now as an adult, it's the opposite. I much prefer baked beans. Did your flavor preference change, or was it always been the same?
I think I would have been baked beans more so younger, but part of what ruined it for me, right, is so on the Navy, right, on a ship, you don't get to make your own meals. So you got to eat what's presented.
Right.
And well, you don't really have the option of being picky. so beans is something that gets served usually on Burger Day. So I'm having essentially the same baked beans once a week. So it kind
Oh,
of just,
okay.
it's like
That
I've had it,
makes that makes sense then. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have baked beans
Right, you know.
once every 6 months, maybe. Like that.
I
That
I
makes
have
sense.
I have Bush's baked beans every Wednesday.
Oh
So,
man.
let's put that over 6 years or so of being on on ships.
Oh jeez.
You know,
Now I
yeah.
understand, sir.
Not bad. Just
Yeah.
it's a can of baked beans. It's not going to be better than it was the week before. It's not going to be worse than it was the week before.
Right. Let us know in the comments, guys. Where are you at on baked beans? Moving on to our fourth item on our picnic side list here. Corn on the cob. This has to be on the cob, to be clear. It cannot just be canned corn, okay? Corn on the cob. It's a key distinction here. I'll go first on this, Helm. So, potato salad is A tier. I would potentially put this potato salad in S tier, but I freaking love corn on the cob. Absolutely love it. I do not eat it the long way, Kino.
That's why I was laughing.
I figured.
That's why
I do not eat it the long way. But I do love me some buttered up corn on the cob, baby. It's so good. Thank you, baby Yoda. It is so freaking good. I know corn on the cob is better in like August. So like we tend to think of it more of as a Labor Day staple because it comes, at least here in BA, it's primarily being picked in like early August, mid-August. So it's a little early in the season for it right now, but still, I'd rather have corn on the cob any day of the week over any of the other things on here. Freaking love corn on the cob, especially if it's got those nice grilled char marks on them from being cooked over the fire. Freaking yes. S tier all the way. Deshelm, don't break my heart, sir.
No, so I knew you were going to be S tier.
Okay.
Right? Because so I can't speak for your side of PA, okay?
Okay.
However, right, where I am, New Jersey, cue all the jokes here, but New Jersey is the Garden State. So I fondly remember times of going like to the farmer's market, getting some fresh corn, going to the barbecue, right, and getting that grilled, getting some nice butter on it and enjoying it. It's, that sweet corn. So obviously, sweet corn, S tier.
Yeah.
Like, they're I don't know if you where you're at, if y'all have like a lot of farmers markets and things like that, right? You get some stuff that was harvested either that day or maybe the day before.
We have a good many. The closer to Pittsburgh you get, the fewer there are, but there certainly are still some in downtown Pittsburgh, but way more as you get further out. Like where I grew up at, about an hour out of Pittsburgh, yeah, we'd have them all over the place. Very common.
So, but yeah, 100% when S tier, and that's the reason why I was kind of struggling. I was like, okay, well, this is my S tier. How do I, what do I walk down, right? So
yeah, no, I get it. Well, I'm glad that we were very much on the same page on that one. Let us know in the comments, guys. Why is corn on the cob S tier? I don't want to hear anything else. Just that. Why is it S tier? All right, final item on our tier ranking here. I'm intrigued. So we're both in agreement on this, but I'm intrigued to see why, because I feel like the why is going to be very different here. Pasta salad. I'll let you go first, and then I'll follow up. Why are you putting pasta salad in D tier?
the simple answer is because I had to. It's not bad.
Okay.
Like I enjoy pasta salad.
Yeah.
It's good. But you did say the distinctive pasta salad and not macaroni salad.
Correct. Yes.
Had you done macaroni salad, my list would be probably a bit different.
Yeah.
I probably would have put macaroni salad at A tier.
Mm-hmm.
But just it's not bad. It's a great side.
Yeah.
I will definitely get it at the barbecue. But we got to follow the rules.
So
something's got to go there.
It's a good point. You're kind of forced. Your hand is forced on that one. But for me, here's my reasoning. This might make no sense to anybody. But for me, pasta salad, first of all, there's a wide variance, kind of like coleslaw, as to whether it's good or not. Like, I've had some really, really bad pasta salads before. But I've had some good ones. Like my aunt, shout out to my aunt. I'll call her Cece. That way I'm not doxing her too hard. My aunt Cece, she makes phenomenal pasta salad, man. It's really, really good. Like, I love her pasta salad. But I don't think of it as a cookout food. So she typically has it for like a lunch, if we're getting together for like an Easter lunch or something like that, but not necessarily for a cookout. I know a lot of people probably do have them for cookouts. I'm not saying that people don't. I'm saying that we, our family, me, don't. We typically just have them as a side for a regular old in-house lunch, not for an outdoor cooking venue. And because of that, I don't think of it as being a cookout food. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit weird with that, but I just don't think of it as being that. And even then, again, if I'm putting my plate together, okay, so I've got my burger, my hot dog. I go to choose my sides, potato salad or macaroni salad, or is my number one choice. Then I'm going to get some baked beans. And then I'm going to get corn on the cob. Like, if I have to choose a starch outside of the corn is my vegetable. If I have to choose a starch, potato salad / macaroni salad or pasta salad, I'm picking the potato / macaroni salad all day of the week, every day of the week. Like, they're not even the same. They're not even close to being the same, in my opinion. Not even close. So it's an easy decision for me. Pasta salad D tier doesn't belong in this setting, in this tier ranking, in my opinion. And it's the far inferior carb driven side is what I'll call it.
Have you had pasta salad with like a vinegar based dressing by any chance?
I wouldn't say vinegar based. So my aunt's is Italian dressing based. It's like she uses an Italian dressing. So she does.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So
I
she
guess
does.
it's not
Yeah, Italian
vinegar.
dressing. She uses like spiral pasta, which is really good actually in that setting. Spiral pasta plus peppers, tomatoes, and cheese of some kind. They might be cheese cubes. They might be shredded cheese. It just kind of depends on what she goes with. That's kind of her staple thing though. But yeah, like I like it. I don't dislike pasta salad. I just don't think it belongs in this setting. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments, folks. Are you team Helm here, that it should be higher than it is, but my rules are ridiculous? Or are you team Shaka and it actually legitimately belongs in D tier and nowhere else? Or are we just both wrong and it should be higher? Also, let me know if you guys eat corn the long way too. I'd be intrigued to know that. All right, guys, with that being said, first of all, Helm, thank you so much for being a guest on tonight's recording of Shawk Tawk, sir. Let the people know how they can find you and get more of you, sir.
Y'all can find me on Twitch. What is it? Twitch _ Des _ Helm. I pretty much only stream Swoga at the moment. Just too busy with active duty Navy. To have time to. I used to be a bit more of a variety streamer. Maybe I'll get back into it. It really just depends. But long story short, y'all can find me on Twitch. I do have YouTube, but I haven't uploaded that in like 2-3 years. But yeah, you can find me on Shaka's Discord. I have my own Discord as well. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me. If you want to join my Discord, just hit me up on Shaka's Discord. Send me a DM. Say hey. Get the link and we'll go from there.
There you go, guys. There you go. So check them out. Make sure you guys get over to Twitch. Check out the Discord. All that stuff. I assume you have your Discord information over on your Twitch channel too, yeah?
I do.
Yeah. So get over there, guys. Check it out. Give him some love and check out some of his stuff. Be greatly appreciated. Speaking of greatly appreciated, first of all, if you guys are still watching at this point, make sure you guys like, and if you want to get more of the Shawk Talk podcast that you got coming out, make sure you guys subscribe so you guys can see more things, whether that is on Spotify or YouTube or any of those things. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. It'd be much, much appreciated. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, guys, if you want to be a member, or not a member, a participant of the live chat while we are doing the live recording with this, make sure you guys head over to Twitch, Shaka08, and join the live Tuesday, Shawk Tawk Tuesday, recordings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a ton of fun, and we love seeing you guys here on the chat. With that being said, Deshelm, any final words before we call it an evening and play the outro?
Thank you very much for having me on. Truly do appreciate it.
Absolutely, sir. Guys, we will see you next time on Shawk Tawk.
Welcome on in and take a seat. Conversations that can't be beat. Music and movies to name a few. Sports and drinks and tiramisu. This is a podcast for everyone. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Time to chat